Welcome back to another deep dive on the Explainer. Today, we are stepping into a high-stakes, interactive challenge. Look, we all want to build wealth, right? But what if I told you the biggest obstacle isn't the stock market or inflation or whatever's on the news today? It's actually our own minds. We're going to uncover the hidden, subconscious, psychological traps that are actively playing games with your money. We've actually pulled together 5 escalating levels of financial brain games to show you exactly how your brain gets tricked on a daily basis. Now, a really quick heads up before we start. These brain games, they're completely real, and honestly, they can be a little bit jarring, but they only work if you absolutely do not skip ahead, okay? You have to lock your focus in right now. Treat this like a true diagnostic test for your financial psychology. So, is your brain ready for the shock?
Based on our source material, only a tiny elite 7% of people can actually pass all these escalating tests without their brain totally freezing up. That is wild, right? Just 7%? Let's see if you've got the psychological fortitude to hit that top tier.
All right, here we go. Level 1, the attention leak. You probably think you keep a pretty close eye on your money, right? Well, let's test that out. Stare directly at this vortex of currency signs on your screen. I'm giving you exactly 10 seconds. Without blinking, seriously, do not blink, scan this massive mess and try to find the one odd symbol hidden among the dollars and rupees. If you blink, you fail. Can you spot it? And time's up. Did you catch that hidden euro sign in there? Look, if you didn't spot it, that perfectly illustrates what we call a financial leak. It proves just how easily our brains completely miss small money drains. You know, like that streaming service you haven't watched in literally 6 months, or that daily $5 coffee. Your brain just filters the small stuff out because it's constantly distracted by the giant vortex of rent, mortgages, and those massive daily expenses. And while you're distracted, your wealth is just slowly draining away.
Moving right along, level 2, the color trap.
Okay, things are going to get a bit trickier here. For this one, you have to shout out the color of the text you see on screen, not the word itself. So if the word profit is printed in red ink, you shout red. Got it? Go. Read them out loud as fast as you can. You're probably stumbling and second-guessing yourself right about now, aren't you? That mental traffic jam you're feeling? It's actually called the Stroop effect. Your brain reads words way faster than it processes colors, so it intentionally creates this friction and confusion. And the real-world financial truth behind that mental friction is absolutely fascinating. Think about it. Logically, our brains are wired to associate the color red with a loss or with danger. But what do retailers do? They deliberately use bright, flashing red ink for their 50% off signs. It literally short-circuits your brain. It completely bypasses your logical fear of losing money and instantly triggers the subconscious spending mode. It's a literal psychological trap built right into everyday marketing.
Let's keep it moving. Level 3, the compounding illusion.
For this next test, I want you to lock your eyes perfectly on the center of the screen and just clear your mind. Just stare intently. After a few seconds, does this perfectly still, totally boring mathematical image look like it's subtly shifting or moving around? Yeah, your eyes are actually tricking your brain into seeing momentum where there literally is none, simply because you've been focusing on it for so long. And here's the crazy part. Compounding interest works identically to that visual illusion. In years 1 through 5, the growth is incredibly flat. It's boring. In fact, most people completely give up here because their brain is screaming at them that nothing is happening. But if you have the discipline to just stare at it long-term, moving into years 10 and 20, boom, it reveals a massive, completely unexpected leap in wealth. The illusion is that early patience feels exactly like stagnation. But the reality? That boredom is the foundation for explosive growth. All right, we're getting to the tough stuff. Level 4, the exact balance freeze. Right now, without checking your phone, I want you to shout out your exact bank balance, down to the very last cent. 1, 2, 3. Did your brain just totally freeze up? Hey, don't worry, 90% of people experience total blankness right here. The human mind finds daily meticulous expense tracking incredibly boring. And because tracking pennies doesn't give you that instant hit of dopamine, your brain literally conserves energy by just deleting exact financial data from your working memory. But listen, if your brain froze just now, you are actively losing money simply through a lack of awareness. The immediate fix for this is actually really easy. You have to force mental accountability through a simple asset tracking ledger.
By literally writing down the exact balances of your checking account, your emergency savings, and your investments, you bypass that faulty memory of yours. You force your brain to finally acknowledge your real financial standing.
And now, the final test, Level 5, the Survival Challenge.
I want you to sit perfectly still for the next 30 seconds, and I want you to visualize a truly terrifying scenario. Imagine it is exactly 5 years from today, and you haven't saved a single coin since this exact moment. You have absolutely zero investments. You have no emergency fund for a crisis. You are in a state of complete financial dependency, maybe on your family, or worse, on a boss you absolutely despise. Really try to feel the claustrophobia and the stress of that reality. Did you feel a sudden spike of genuine discomfort in your stomach just then? Just a little wave of panic? If you did, then this test was a total success, because that psychological shock proves your financial brain is finally awake. Fear gets a bad rap, but when you harness it correctly, it is a highly effective tool to break your bad habits and totally jumpstart your financial discipline.
And that brings us to the end of the challenge. So, be honest. How many of the 5 levels did you actually survive without stumbling? Look, I highly urge you to share this explainer with a friend, especially one who has a bit of a habit of overspending, and just see if they fall into the exact same traps you did. Because building wealth isn't just about the math. It is almost entirely about mastering your own psychology. You have to stop the leaks, you have to avoid those color traps, and you absolutely must leverage the compounding illusion. But I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. Now that you know exactly how your brain is being hacked on a daily basis to keep you broke, what is the very first thing you're going to change today to take your mind back?